Hello and welcome back to my humble show. I have to go soon. I'm going to be watching the Super Bowl. Let me know if you are. I'd be happy to know who you're rooting for. That and so much more. But in the meantime, I don't want to waste too much of your time or mine for that matter. This is going to be a pod, not a podcast. It's not meant to last too long. Let me know in the comments below what you think, what you know. Feel free to disagree with me on anything I may say. I'm going to be showing you a clip of Donald Trump speaking at his rally over the weekend. He said something about Nikki Haley and her husband. And I just have a few thoughts to run by you. And like I said, you're free to disagree with me. I am not exactly a Nikki Haley supporter. But I'm going to call it like I see it in all cases, at all times, to the best of my ability. I'll do my best. You can do the rest. With that being said, here is the clip. A quote from Donald Trump, as seen in this caption by Aaron Rupar, who I do not care for, but he has the clips. So, Trump attacks Nikki Haley's husband. Where's her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone. Any number of implications there, and before I read into them any further, or react to them any further, here's the clip.
In a lifetime, she said, I will never run against him. Then she comes over to see me at Mar-a-Lago. Sir, I will never run against you. She brought her husband. Where's her husband? Oh, he's away. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone. He knew. He knew. But no, think of this. Think of this. In a lifetime, she said, I will never run against him.
And that is the key right there. He is taking a projected personal grievance. I say projected because so many times it's just politicking. That's what Donald Trump does. He takes cheap shots. He says things he doesn't really mean. He causes a bit of a scene. And then once people drop out of races and endorse him, he has nothing but nice things to say about them. He is speaking about someone who worked for him in his administration, and on her way out the door, he was saying that she herself was wonderful. Now, he's not exactly saying that. Now, whether he is speaking about rumors about her relationship with her husband, I know that there have been rumors over the years about her and some affair which she allegedly had, or maybe more than one affair which she allegedly had. She has, of course, denied all of that. I don't know if there's anything to any of it. My point would be that, well, for one, Donald Trump isn't exactly the person who should be speculating on such things, considering his own history. But, it's a cheap shot. That's what it is, regardless of how accurate it may or may not be. So I'll go ahead and play that through one more time. It's such a short clip.
Then she comes over to see me at Mar-a-Lago. Sir, I will never run against you. She brought her husband. Where's her husband? Oh, he's away. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone. He knew. He knew. But no.
He knew. What exactly? That's a question you're going to have to ask Donald Trump. I don't think he knows necessarily what he's talking about. He's just throwing it out there, the cheap shot that it is, firing a bit blindly. But hey, that's what happens when you say things you don't mean. Just to catapult yourself into, I would say, the spotlight, but he's already in the spotlight. The top of the totem pole when it comes to presidentiality, which he doesn't exactly represent, as unpresidential as he is. And about that, well, I have a few more thoughts. I do have one more clip. I'll play it at the end after I move rapidly through this. This was Nikki Haley's response. Here it says up at the top of the screen, my reply, Donald Trump had a rally in South Carolina today, and this was something she said yesterday. And in that rally, he mocked my husband's military service. My husband, Michael, is deployed serving our country. A relevant factor there, if you're asking where he is, well, he's serving the country in a somewhat more patriotic way than Donald Trump is, I must say. But she says, my husband, Michael, is deployed serving our country. I'm proud of Michael's service. Every military spouse knows it's a family sacrifice. If you mock the service of a combat veteran, you don't deserve a driver's license. Okay? Let alone to be the President of the United States. So, if you mock any combat veteran in any way whatsoever, you do not deserve a driver's license? That's kind of random, is it not? I mean, to each their own. Freedom of speech, right? You would agree that everyone should have freedom of speech without fear of losing their license, would you not, Nikki Haley? Of course, she has a bit of a personal bias there, speaking on behalf of her husband, as she should. I mean, he's her husband. I would hope that she takes his side. But here's what I had to say in response to her. Here's Nikki Haley's response to Donald Trump's mocking of her husband, which was more so meant to mock her. Notice her little spin there. She makes it about his attack on her husband. Really, Donald Trump is just trying to attack her, since that's who he's running against. That's who is refraining from dropping out and endorsing him, like all of the other candidates. And no, I do not support her. I personally don't place much trust in the relationships of politicians like Haley, but Trump has no business making a mockery of her relationship status or of her husband's military service. I have a typo there. I'm very disappointed in myself. Or of her husband's military service, I said, especially considering Trump's own history, both of unfaithfulness in marriage and avoidance of the draft, justified or not. Supposedly, he had some issues with his feet, and that kept him out of the service. I'm not going to hate on him too much, since I am not a veteran myself. I have not served. Of course, I didn't dodge a draft. Not saying Donald Trump dodged a draft. I just understand why people would argue that he did. Of course, Joe Biden also avoided the draft. So if you want to call that draft dodging as well, similar. If the shoe fits, wear it. I don't know if it does or not. I'm just saying. Information for you. I do feel that the bold print at the end of Haley's statement is a bit hyperbolic, but again, Trump himself has never met a moment in which he won't devolve into hyperbole. I was referring to the portion of this reply of Nikki Haley's where she claims that Donald Trump doesn't deserve a driver's license, let alone to be the President of the United States. And again, he has always been known to be very hyperbolic. And yet she worked for him during his administration, had no problem with it. Said not too long ago, knowing his very lengthy history of hyperbolic rhetoric, well, she said that if he ran again, she would not run. Then once he announced that he was going to be running, she changed her mind, called him up, asked for his blessing, in a sense, and then announced that she was going to be running as well. So Donald Trump, despite being okay with her running at the time, now has changed his mind since she's still in the race, has not dropped out, has not endorsed him, and now he's pretending that it's some kind of personal grievance. You know, just like he did with Ron DeSantis. She's disloyal to him. Will she drop out in the end and endorse him? I don't know. You tell me. We shall see. If she does, it will make all of this all the more amusing, because after saying that he shouldn't even have a driver's license, she would then be endorsing him for president. And at some point, she may be forced to drop out. I don't know if that means she would be forced to endorse him, like all of the other candidates. But considering how sympathetic she has been towards him in the past, despite all of his preponderance of unfortunate statements, very divisive statements, I wouldn't put it past her to flip the script yet again, flip and flop as she often does, and decide not only that Donald Trump deserves a driver's license, but that he should be president again. We'll see what happens. If I'm not mistaken, she took a pledge in the first debate that she would endorse whoever the nominee is in the end, so she will be breaking her own pledge if she doesn't ultimately drop out and, endorse Donald Trump, assuming he ends up being the nominee. But at the same time, she's kind of trapped. So she's got to run this one out, because if she drops out and breaks her pledge, it's kind of a bad look for her. If she drops out and keeps her pledge, then she's contradicting all of her statements about how unfit he is for office. Not saying that she has outright said that he is unfit. She has mostly just said that chaos follows him. Chaos follows him. So I don't mean to turn this into a referendum on Nikki Haley or anything like that. I don't support neither her nor Donald Trump at this point. But I'm just calling it like I see it across the board to the best of my ability. Silly me. Trump is his own worst enemy in moments like these because his tongue is a sword and he both lives and dies by it. I expect a president to actually act presidential, and as they say, this ain't it. This isn't me supporting Haley as a presidential candidate, it's just me being decent. But I did miss something. And here is what I missed. I'll call it like I see it in any case. For example, when Trump was baselessly accused of calling fallen soldiers suckers and losers, I defended him. But when he suggested that he was braver than fallen soldiers for debating Hillary Clinton, I condemned him. Yeah, so in the one case there, as Joe Biden continues to say ad nauseum that Donald Trump had called fallen soldiers suckers and losers, I completely reject that notion without any further proof. Many people who are close to Trump, including people who didn't like him, disputed those claims at the time. So yeah, I'm not buying that. The politicians are going to politic, whether it's Joe Biden or Nikki Haley. Not saying that Nikki Haley has repeated that rumor. But on the other hand, Donald Trump did say at a rally not too long ago that some general or someone like that had told him that he was braver for debating Hillary Clinton after the tapes, Access Hollywood tapes were released than fallen soldiers were. Now that is something I can condemn. I can condemn Donald Trump for saying such a thing. Yeah. So, like I said, I'll criticize or not. It just depends on the situation. I do have one more clip, as I already mentioned. If you want to see the rest of Nikki Haley's response, her reply, it's here on her website. She turns it into a pitch. And she says, pitch in your most generous donation now. So yeah, Donald Trump bad, send me money. But that's how these things work. I side with her in a sense where Donald Trump should not have been taking such a low blow, especially when he didn't even know what he was talking about. When her husband is serving overseas and he is here running his mouth, pretending to be as patriotic as actual veterans, whether they are fallen soldiers or living soldiers. But yeah, getting back on track here. Here's one more clip, and this goes along with what I said for his being Donald Trump's spin on why he is now so much so in opposition to Nikki Haley after having her as a member of his administration.
A little while later, I'd like to announce my candidacy. We don't need people like this. And I'll tell you what, she did a job. She was fine. She was okay. But I didn't put her there because I wanted her there at the United Nations. That was up to me. I wanted to take your lieutenant governor, who's right here, and make him governor. That's what I wanted. And I wanted you to have Peggy as a first lady. Get the best first lady. So that's a lot of truth to that, too. Because this man, when I was campaigning, for a long time, I got along with her, made contributions to the governor. She'd always called contributions, for years. And then I decided to run, and I said, one person I know I have is Nikki. I have Nikki Haley. Tricky Nikki. I have...
Okay, so despite Donald Trump, praising her endlessly, even calling her wonderful on her way out the door, he now has tried to spin the whole situation. The situation, as I said. A little bit of revisionist history going on here. Please tell me you don't buy this. This notion, as Aaron Rupar points out in His caption here, Trump says he picked Nikki Haley as his UN ambassador not because he thought she would be good at the job, but because he wanted someone else to become South Carolina's governor. Really? That is ridiculous. This is why you can't believe a word that Trump says. Because he's just trying to pander to his base. That's all he's trying to do, right? Tell me if I'm wrong here. It doesn't even make any sense. And even if that was true, even if that were true, it would be a terrible reason for picking someone. Like, hey, I want your state to have a different governor, so I'll therefore select someone whom I supposedly, allegedly don't even like to work for me as an ambassador, in Nikki Haley's case, to the UN. Yeah, I'm not buying it. Not at all. But it's just part of the spin cycle. So, Donald Trump, as much as he likes to talk about fake news, he is more than happy to contribute to it when he feels that it benefits him in his campaigning. Nikki Haley has done the same on many occasions. But my overall take on this would be that, just like Donald Trump took cheap shots at the McCains, well, he has now taken cheap shots at the Haleys, Nikki Haley's husband. And yeah, I just thought I'd say I don't stand for that. I don't. So I'm a member of the Never Nikki coalition. Yeah, I'm a member of the Never Trump coalition at this point. I am. Change my mind. You're welcome to try. I'm definitely a member of the Never Biden coalition, so I don't have a lot of options. And I feel free to sit here and disagree with everyone under the sun. And with that being said, you're free to disagree with me as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Keep in touch. Keep in tune. New content is coming soon. At some point after the Super Bowl, we'll see who wins. I don't really care, to be honest. Peace.